Hey, what's up everybody? It's your mortgage expert, Brian McCauley here. So you're looking to buy a house and you're wondering, when is the actual right time for me to get pre-approved? Is it a day before? Is it a week before? Is it a year before? Stick around in this video. I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know. Listen, as the housing market continues to heat up and there's more activity, potential home buyers out there are wondering, well, I want to buy a house and I'm not paying cash. I need to get pre-approved. I kind of know about the process, but the big question is, when is the right time? Do I do this after I look at houses? Do I do it before? And if I do it before, how long is appropriate? Should I call Brian a year before I'm ready? Should I call him a week before I'm ready? So this is a really good question that I get all the time. And what I tell everybody is more time is better than not enough time. But specifically, let me kind of tell you the time frame and how the process works, and we'll put you in the best position possible. I think for everybody out there that's looking to buy a house, you want to get pre-approved anywhere, ideally, probably 2 to 4 weeks before you're ready to actually go out and make offers. The reason I say 2 to 4 weeks is if you get inside 2 weeks, let's say it's like a week or something, it can be done. We do pre-approvals within 24 to 48 hours. It's just buying a house. You want to alleviate anxiety and pressure as much as you can, and so be proactive on the time frame on getting your pre-approval done, all the financials taken care of up front, all your payment strategies and all that stuff. You don't want to crunch that into a small amount of time. Again, we will, it's just not ideal. And so this video is about what is the ideal time, what's the ideal temperature. That's why I say 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks allows you to do everything up front, have a full consultation, have everything checked top to bottom, so there's no big surprises. It won't be a pre-qualification, those are bad. It'll be a full pre-approval, those are good. But you have plenty of time to go through everything, gather your financials, have a bunch of conversations with me, rates, payments, cash to close, offer strategies on houses, appraisals, all these things, so you feel confident and clear about where you're going. And so 2 to 4 weeks not only gives us plenty of time to do a full mortgage planning session and pre-approval, it gives you plenty of time to gather all the financials, go through the process of what it's supposed to be, and that way everyone's on the same page. Now, you can do it further out. There's nothing wrong with coming to us a month or 2 or 3 ahead of time and saying like, hey, I'm not buying in the next couple of weeks, but I'm probably 30 to 60 days out. That's totally fine too. I think that window of time is very healthy as well. Only because, again, you're giving yourself a little bit of extra time, you're able to pull the financials together, and you're not going to get caught off guard with any language, any pre-approvals, any funny, strange things with the market. But obviously going that far out, 30 to 60, maybe even 90 days, there's 2 things that I normally see in this scenario. Most people that are 60 plus days out that want to get pre-approved are usually stuck in a lease that's 2 or 3 or 4 months left on the lease, and they think that they're not ready to buy because they are stuck in that lease. Separate video I've got called Break Your Lease, which is, hey, if that's the only thing keeping you from buying a house, we'll try our best, and most of the time help get that reletting fee or that break the lease fee paid for. If not all of it, majority of it, so don't let that stop you. But for those that think they're further out than they actually are, at a 60-day window, get pre-approved, run all the numbers, get everything squared away. What happens most of the time is people think they're 2 to 3 months out, they get pre-approved. Little do you know, they end up finding a house 2 or 3 weeks down the road, they're ready to make an offer. So where they think they were 6 to 8 weeks out, they're actually 4 weeks out. And a little known fact that a lot of buyers don't know is that you don't have to wait until you're out of your lease. You don't even have to wait until you're a month out. The way it works on buying a house and home loans is, for an example, if you buy a house and you get under contract and your closing date is May 1st, what happens is when you close on that home loan on May 1st, okay, there's not gonna be a mortgage payment in May. You'll just pay the interest for the odd days interest for whatever it is in that actual month. You're gonna skip the following month. So if you closed in May, no mortgage payment, just interest in May. Skip June, there is no mortgage payment for the following month. And then your first actual mortgage payment will be due in July. So if you're waiting to buy because you're concerned about maybe like 2 mortgage payments at once or a rent payment and the mortgage payments as well, they don't butt up. Meaning like you don't close on the house, get your keys today, and then we as the lender go, hey, where's your payment? We give you anywhere from 45 to 60 days. So a lot of times that's what holds people's back as well. It's like, oh, well, my rent is up in May and I just didn't want to have a mortgage payment in May, so I wanted to close in May so that way I wouldn't get stuck twice. It's like, no, you close in May, no mortgage payment, odd days interest, skip June, July, so you actually have a runway of 45 to 60 days before your first payment is due. And so this is where, again, more time is better than less time. 2 to 4 weeks, ideal. That way, you won't be behind the 8 ball, but anything from 4 to 8 weeks is fine as well, because again, it's like creating more space for yourself, having more time. You'd be shocked even if you get pre-approved 6 to 8 weeks out, you might be ready to buy. The other thing is too, with you and your realtor and the market heating up, like you may have to go out and look at 4 or 5 properties over a 2-week span, and you may make offers on a couple of them and you might miss out. So even if you're mentally ready to do it at 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and we get everything done, you might not find anything in the market over the next 2 or 3 weeks, or you might find something, but other people find it and like it as well, and their offer is stronger than yours. You end up missing out, and that window slowly starts to close. So these are all things to take into consideration when you get pre-approved and buying a house. Obviously your realtor will help you with that, we'll help you with that, but again, 2 to 4 weeks out is ideal. It just eliminates all the risk. It makes for a great experience for you. But I do like the 30 to 60 to 90 day as well, because there is no hurry. And if you get pre-approved and we can get you out of your lease, or you find a house sooner rather than later and you can't time it perfectly, normally you won't get hit with a mortgage payment and a mortgage payment, or a rent payment and a mortgage payment back to back, because by design, the industry creates that space to make sure consumers keep as much money in their pocket as they can in the beginning when they're buying a house. Last piece on this about the right time to get pre-approved is why I like the 2 to 4 weeks, or even maybe 4 weeks or a little bit longer, is as a consumer, you come to us and we have a conversation and we get your financials and application and go through everything together. A lot of times everything isn't perfect on the consumer side. And we need time to fix something with the buyer, whether it be a credit score, whether it be saving money for a down payment, whether it be something with an employer or a job, or maybe like a side job or something. And so when people come to us and they might be ready a month or 2 months out, the truth of the matter is financially, credit-wise, asset-wise, income-wise, they might not be ready. And if you come to us too late and I need to help you with something to get you in a position to buy a house, if we don't have that time, now again, time is our enemy. So therefore we want to create additional space to structure whatever needs to be done to put you in a position to where that shot clock and that hourglass won't drain on you, and you put yourself where you're a week out from your lease and either you're not ready, I'm not ready, you can't find a house. And the last thing you want to do is buy a house like under the gun, really, really fast with anxiety. It's the biggest investment and the biggest purchase of someone's life, so make sure and give yourself extra time. When you see these things online is a big misnomer about like push button, get mortgage, you can do a quick pre-qual application through your phone. Guys, I'm telling you, these things aren't fully evaluated. They're real, but I would say like on a scale of 1 to 10, if there's a pre-qualification, there's a pre-approval, and there's a full underwrite, what I'm talking to you about a pre-approval on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 7. An underwrite, which is everything underwritten for you, the property, when you actually get under contract, is a 10. A pre-qualification is like a 1 or a 2. It doesn't really hold any weight. And the downside is, as a buyer, I get it. You don't understand. You hear stuff on the radio, you see stuff on TV, you're paying attention to social, and people have this clickbait about a pre-qualification. The problem with the pre-qualification is it doesn't take you very much time, which is great, but it doesn't take the lender very much time either, which isn't great. And so when you tell a lender, this is how much money I make, this is what I do, this is what I have in the bank, they're taking your word for it, and they're gonna verify later. Everything in the mortgage business is all about verification. It's a very invasive industry, and there's a ton of regulation regardless of all the marketing tactics that people tell you out there. I remind everybody, like, if there was just one bank that was really easy to get mortgages and the other bank that was super hard, every mortgage person like me would just go to the easy bank, because we don't want to make it harder on our clients, we don't want to make it harder on our partners, and we don't want to make it harder on ourselves. But you will find on TV that it really takes this, but a lot of people tease marketing and tease conversation around this, because if they can give you the appearance that it's very easy and you go do a one-day application with him, it feels good, the chances of the consumer saying, oh, I'm gonna stay with these people because it was really easy, is what most people do, and come to find out they get under contract and all that easy stuff that they made so easy is not so easy. And then they start asking for all this documentation later, once you're under contract, and you're like, oh my God, this is so stressful. They're asking me for something every single day. But a lot of times too, as you're giving them the documentation after the fact, some of your stuff isn't good. Income's not accurate, assets aren't there, all kinds of problems. 65% of home loans do not close on time. It is a bad statistic. It is the opposite of the auto industry, meaning when you go to buy a car or a truck and you go to get financing, it's very easy. You can do it in one day. Like, imagine it in your head. Pull up to the lot at 10:30, go find a car by 12 or 1. They say go talk to the finance manager. You sit down with him or her for an hour or two. They get everything done. You sign the paperwork, you got the keys, and you literally leave at 4 p.m. and you're done with the whole thing. Mortgages and buying a house is the opposite. It takes a while to get a mortgage taken care of the right way. Yes, again, we can do it in a day or 2 days, but it's not ideal. We're talking about the ideal time. It's also why when you get under contract on a house, they put the closing date for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and people are like, I don't understand. I just bought a $75,000 truck last Saturday and I did it all in 1 day. Why does it take too much time to get the mortgage paperwork and all this stuff? And then how come it takes so long? Like, even if my mortgage is perfect and I'm with Brian and his team, we're fully pre-approved and all my stuff is done, it still takes 21 days because there is so much regulation in this industry, buying a house and getting a mortgage, that there are a million things to do and a million people involved. It's like taking a flight. You and I just drive to the airport, get on the plane, go from one place to the other. But there are so many things with baggage handlers, claim, engineers, pilots. I mean, all these things we don't see, but it just appears that way. So it's the same thing with buying a house, specifically getting a mortgage, is that, you don't see all these things, but they have to be done and there's no way around them. And the right thing to do is to do them up front. Now, they're not always the easiest and the sexiest, but instead of doing it for 1 day and putting yourself at risk and it being a nightmare after the fact, do it for 3 or 4 days and do it 2 or 3 or 4 weeks early. So that way you understand there's no big surprises. It's not just about getting a piece of paper. It's about fully verifying everything, but also giving you financial options. How much money do you want to put down? Where do you want to be on the payment? What's the best debt strategy for you? How much do you want to keep in the bank? Do we need to get closing costs paid for? How long are you going to be in the home? Any other big financial goals? All these things. This is truly part of a real pre-approval. Anybody can go to their phone, click one button, fill out an application. That is not what you want. It will not set you or your realtor up for success, and it will make the home buy experience a bad one. So you want to get pre-approved, ideally 2 to 4 weeks before you're ready. Anything between 4 and 8 is still ideal, either to put yourself in a better position, or if you have things that we need to help you with to correct, to get you in a position to be pre-approved, you will allow yourself time. Time is your friend. Create time, make more time. 2 to 4 weeks ideal. 4 to 8, no problem, but make sure and be proactive and stay ahead of the curve when it comes to getting pre-approved on your home buying timeline. So listen, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share with somebody that you know that could benefit from this education that's out there getting pre-qualified when they should get pre-approved. And if you want to have a conversation with myself or our team about your home loan journey, buying a house, pre-qual versus pre-approval, or anything mortgage related, do us a favor, call us, email us, text us. We're always here for you. Until next time, stay tuned.